Today, we're going to crack open the playbook of a global giant to really understand what makes a winning marketing strategy. And yeah, we're talking about Starbucks, a brand that somehow managed to turn a simple cup of coffee into a daily ritual for millions of us. You know, the Starbucks story is a bit of a classic drama. Back in the 80s, they brought this whole European-style coffeehouse experience to America, and it just exploded. This led to insane global growth through the early 2000s. But that speed, that breakneck pace, it came at a cost. The brand's focus on speed and scale started to water down the very thing that made it special in the first place. I mean, think about it. This relentless push for expansion. It was kind of hollowing out the company's soul. And customers, the people who had genuinely fallen in love with the brand, they started to notice things felt different. So, in the late 2000s, the founder, Howard Schultz, actually returned as CEO to engineer one of the most famous corporate comebacks in recent history. This quote gets right to the heart of the original idea. Schultz knew that Starbucks was never just about the coffee. It was about creating a third place. You know, that comforting, reliable spot between your home and your work. That was the magic, and that's what they had to get back. So the big question is, how did they pull it off? Well, their comeback wasn't just luck, not at all. It was a complete masterclass in strategy. We're going to break down the 5 key steps that powered the revival, and you'll see how they can teach any business a thing or two about building a brand that actually lasts. Okay, so step 1, you have to find your North Star. The very first thing Starbucks had to do was get real about its mission. See, a mission statement isn't just some fluffy words on a wall. It's like the invisible hand that guides every single decision, from the bigwigs in the boardroom all the way down to the barista. And Starbucks, well, they had lost their grip. At its core, a mission statement defines your fundamental purpose. It's your why. But as Starbucks was about to find out the hard way, the kind of mission you choose makes all the difference. It's the difference between being just another coffee shop and becoming a global phenomenon. And right here, this is the crucial shift they made. A product-oriented mission, we sell coffee, it's so narrow and limiting. But a market-oriented mission, that focuses on the customer's need. By shifting their focus back to providing that third place, Starbucks wasn't just selling a drink anymore. They were selling an entire experience. And that, my friends, opens up a whole world of possibilities. All right, on to step 2. Analyze your portfolio. With their new mission as a compass, Starbucks had to take a really hard, honest look at everything they were doing. This whole process is called business portfolio analysis, basically taking inventory of all your products and business units to see what's actually working and what's just not. The whole goal here is to figure out which parts of the business are strong and which are weak, so you can make smart decisions about where to put your time and money. For this, a lot of companies, Starbucks included, turn to a really classic tool, the BCG Growth Share Matrix. Now, this framework helps you categorize your business. So for Starbucks, their core coffee drinks, those were their cash cows, super stable, super profitable. Their growing Frappuccino line, you could call those stars. But what about things like, say, breakfast sandwiches that were overpowering that signature coffee smell? They might have been considered dogs, or maybe question marks that were just a distraction from the main mission. This kind of analysis forces you to make tough but really smart decisions. So that brings us to step 3. Find your path to growth. After they looked at their portfolio, Starbucks needed a clear game plan for moving forward. The product/market expansion grid gives us a really powerful way to think about that. This grid basically shows you 4 ways you can grow. For Starbucks, market penetration meant getting people like you and me to visit more often. Product development was about creating new stuff for us, like the legendary pumpkin spice latte. Market development was all about opening stores in new countries. And diversification, that could mean buying a totally different company. They had to figure out where to focus their energy. Okay, step 4, create the marketing plan. Look, a world-class strategy is totally worthless without execution. This is where the marketing plan comes in. It's all about turning those big, high-level ideas into something real, something tangible. And that all starts with what we call the STP process. First, segmentation. You can't be everything to everybody, so you divide the market up into smaller groups. Then, targeting. You pick the most promising groups to focus on. And finally, positioning. This is where you create a clear, unique identity in the minds of those customers. For Starbucks, that meant reclaiming their spot as the premium third place. So, once you know how you want people to see you, you use the marketing mix, the famous 4 Ps, to make it happen. The product has to be great. The price sends a signal about quality. The place, the store itself, creates that whole vibe. And promotion is how you tell your story. For Starbucks, every single one of these things had to work together to scream third-place experience. And that brings us to the final step, step 5. And it's the one a lot of businesses totally forget: measuring what matters. After all that planning and all that hard work, you have to stop and ask, did any of this actually work? Is this strategy creating real value? In today's world, marketing has to prove its worth, and marketing ROI is the key metric for that. It answers a really simple question. For every dollar we put in, how many dollars did we get back? This is how you prove that great marketing isn't just an expense, it's a powerful engine for growth. So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about the brands you really love. Is Nike really just selling shoes, or are they selling the feeling of athletic achievement? Is Apple just selling phones, or are they selling access to creativity? The Starbucks comeback is this powerful reminder that the best, most enduring brands aren't built on what they sell, but on the fundamental human need they serve. That's the secret to a strategy that lasts.